The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
The EP Podcast is brought to you proudly by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, where they know having a bank that can deliver under pressure makes all the difference. When the pandemic hit, local businesses needed help securing Paycheck Protection Program loans. They turned to the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, and they worked very hard. They got 13 local owners to get more than $3 million in loans, and those owners were able to save more than 200 local jobs right here in Evergreen Park. They can also make a difference for you, personalized banking solutions you can rely on. They are the bank of choice of the EP Podcast. They can be your bank as well. Learn more at bankevergreenpark.com/foryou. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti. Hannah Beth sitting here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar, and we have some guests today joining us for the episode. We have had these gentlemen on together once. It was for a quick 3 to 4 minutes in the middle of a 4th of July parade that seems like eons ago. And while we will not have the parade this year, I know very soon we will be having all kinds of events here in Evergreen Park. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's going on in the village, any news that's going on with 2 trustees from the EP, one of which was just reelected. And as this show comes out on Monday morning, is getting his oath of office for yet another term. Norm Anderson is here with us, and his campaign manager, a good friend of the show, has been on before, Mark Marzullo, is here. How are you guys?
Good, Chris.
You go first, Norm. You're better. You're better looking, Norm. You go first.
You're better looking.
No, you are.
No, we're doing good, Chris. Everything's fine, yeah.
And also, Hannah, we would be remiss if we didn't thank Norm for bringing over a case of beer.
He did. Big case of beer
a
under
bunch
his
of
arm.
tacos. And he continues to try to outdo Mark.
Always, Chris. Always.
Mark brought me once a sampler. And it was on the air. He presented me. It was around Christmas time. I think it was a gift that you gave me. Mm-hmm. And he presented me with a sampler of scotches because he knows that I like to drink scotch. And ever since then, when Norm comes over, he brings over all kinds of food. And I should have known because, like, Erica cooked tonight. So I ate. You ate here. And we just completely forgot that Norm was coming. There are tacos all over the bar.
Last time he came, he brought over Xantos.
I just had dinner 15 minutes before he got here, and I'm like, I'm going to have to eat these tacos.
Neighbors too, and everybody.
There's like a mound of I'm not lying. There was a mound of tacos.
Yeah, what is this? What is this competition that you have where you got to try to show up Mark by bringing stuff over all the time?
Well, me and Mark are good friends. We went to high school together, of course, like that. So, it's something we laugh about. We like the Stooges and all that good stuff, right? We have a lot in common.
I guess I got to go buy a car for you to top Norm. Because I can't top all this.
Listen, all I want
Ferrari.
All I want is a ticket book for when people run stop signs in front of my house. That's all I care about. Just give me one of those and I'll be fine. I just want to be Barney Fife of Evergreen Park. No real power, but it would make me feel better if I had it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Chris, I'll make sure you get the one bullet in your pocket and you'll be all set.
It is now time for your EP Podcast Word on the Street, brought to you by Central Middle School's Our American Voices civics class. And no, we didn't charge them for this. We're trying to help them out. They are trying to help out local businesses, folks in Evergreen Park that need your support coming out of the pandemic. And there are promotions going on the entire month of May at Classmates as part of this. 20% off a single purchase or Peace of Mind organization. Want to get more organized? $5 off $25 spent with them. This week alone, go to the Mathnasium and you get an assessment and 4 sessions for only $65. And Eric Mangan Concrete, free estimates on all concrete quotes. If you want to find all of the deals being offered this month of May locally, it is being included in a newsletter sent out to all the District 124 parents. I believe it is also on their website, or follow them on Instagram at OAV Blooming Business. A great idea by a bunch of 8th grade students over there at Central Middle School trying to help out their community. Otherwise, what's the big news this week? Oh yeah, for the first time in a long time, there's a different mayor in Evergreen Park. Right now, there's a guy that's got to change all the signs. like everywhere, because Kelly Burke takes office the day this show comes out on Monday. We wish her a congratulations, and also on behalf of myself and Hannah, everybody associated with the EP podcast, thank you once again to Mayor James Sexton for a wonderful career serving the people of Evergreen Park, and from me personally, for all of the support you have given this show as we grew in the community over the last several years. The village was always very supportive, and he was right at the front of that. That is your EP podcast, Word on the Street. Ahead on the show, we're going to check in with the farmers market over at Yukich Field. Remember, that's every Thursday, starting at 7 a.m., going until 1 p.m. We will talk with some of the vendors and more with our village trustees down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar on the EP podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com. All right, so listen, people don't want to hear us just make jokes with each other. They want to know what's going on in the village. So I have a couple of places I'm lined up to go and visit here in the next couple of weeks that are local businesses, local bars and restaurants. We're going to be bringing back our Eating Evergreen Park thing that we do here on the EP podcast. It's a lot easier now that things are more relaxed to be able to go out and do those things and be out in public. And so we're going to be visiting Rosangela's, which has massively expanded. I can't wait to go over there and tell people about what they've done over there. Okay, so that's very exciting. Very nice. And we're going to be stopping in a tavern in the Green. We've never actually done any episodes there before. We're going to try a shot over there. We still have the places that we have been to many times, Durbin's and Porter Cullen's. And some of these places are starting to get the gaming machines, but what's amazing is you don't notice that they're there because of what you guys did. I've actually seen how it's set up in Porter Cullen's, and in reality, if I didn't even know that they had them,
I could not.
I think it may have been the best setup I've ever seen for video gaming, because to me, I always find it annoying to see the lights and hear the buzzers and hear the ching ching and everything else like that. I feel like, all right, I'm not in a nice restaurant anymore. I'm in a gambling place. But you guys have set this up very well, and the businesses seem more than happy to make sure that it's kind of like it's hidden from view, because that's a big moneymaker for them, and it's going to help them coming out of this pandemic.
Yeah, I think they're happy with that. I know the trustees, and of course with Mark here, and the other trustees, we talked about it, and we want to keep, like we talked about the last show, Chris, we're trying to keep it away from the kids. I mean, they allow a rope to go across. We're different.
Right.
We're blocking it off.
Right.
We're gonna make it nice and just keep it away from them. Like Chadwick Green has kids going in there. Porter Cullen's, you looked at them, they're in the back.
Yeah.
So forth and so on. But,
and it's really nice how they set it up. And in reality,
Yeah.
like, again, it's one of those things where if you didn't want your kids exposed to it, they don't even know it's there.
Right.
And it's really
nice.
great how you guys set it up. I didn't know how it was going to work. And I didn't know how the businesses would kind of set up their floor plans to fit what you guys had asked for them to do when you passed that you would hand out these gaming licenses in an effort to get things going again after they were hit so hard during the pandemic. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed by the fact that I know it's there because I'm an adult, but like I would have to literally point out to my kid, like, hey, you got to go around the corner here, then I got to open up this door, and then I got to point way down here, and that's where they stashed it. And I think that's actually really nice.
Yeah, well, the mayor, Mayor Sexton, and the trustees, we met a lot.
Former
of times.
mayor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sorry, Jim, you're out.
Former mayor, and according to his letter that comes out on Friday, just call him Jim now.
We met a lot about that and discussed it, and we came up with the plan, and we think it's a good plan, and I think it's going to work, and it's going to help the businesses and the restaurants and whoever's going to get to gambling.
So what's new? What do we have that's new? What's on the table? What are we working on right now? What's happening in board meetings, because most citizens never make it to them?
Well, they're very, very exciting. And if you've missed them, they're
a blast. Chris, they're a blast.
It's like a NASCAR race.
Well, I know that there's like a tag team wrestling match at one point during the middle of it, I've heard, and there's a drinking competition towards the end where the team that can drink Das Boot the quickest without spilling the beer, that team wins whatever they want for that week, right? Isn't that how it works?
Well, if Trustee McQuillan's in that team, we're all going to lose.
But what do you got? What's happening?
I met with the mayor today, and I know I was going to see him tomorrow. I was going to be available to see him, and I just, I thank the mayor for everything, and one thing great about the mayor is he had open door policy with his trustees. I'd walk in there once, 2 times, sometimes 3 times a week. I'd sit there and go, "What's new, Jim? What do you know that I don't know that I should know? All right, we got this going on, we got this going on, get this going on." we've got so many things that he's kind of put to bed already that he wanted to finish up. We do have one major thing going on.
Ooh.
The property at 95th and Utica, which is formerly the Fifth Third Bank or First National Bank of Evergreen
Yes, I know
Park.
you guys have been trying to figure out what to do with that property.
We have something big going on with that. I'm not at liberty to say right now. The developer doesn't, until we have the money in our hand, I always say, until I have the cash in my hand, the deal's not done. But these developers prefer not, and I don't, I saw that happen in Oklahoma. The developers,
They don't want to know.
they
They don't want it out.
want to get
They don't
out
want it
for
out.
whatever reason.
But
It'll
there
be nice
is-
whichever
But it's
there
going to be a
is a chance-
very big project.
Right.
It's
Very
going to
nice.
be it's going to be a home run.
Really.
It
A
will.
home run.
Yep.
And
I'm just dying to know.
is this one of these things that you guys have you gotten to the point where you approach the neighbors that would be on the border, like the homeowners yet, or do you wait until you get to another point on it?
It's right now they expressed interest in a project, and of course they wanted to go another suburb. They're pushing us against another suburb.
Well,
And
don't go to another
and
suburb.
Our
That's
greatest
wrong.
salesman of Evergreen Park, Jim Sexton, got involved.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
And
good
said,
at that.
He is
don't
a
look
great
on
salesman.
that other suburb. This is where you need to focus. And here's all the good things and why you should be in Evergreen Park. And as you all know, we're very business friendly. So they're at the process where they're looking at first they have to negotiate the deal with the owner of the property, which we have nothing to do with, okay? So once they negotiate a deal and said, if we do A, B, and C, will we make it? So I think financially they've come to some agreement. No monies have been exchanged, but said, okay, we pulled the trigger. We know it's going to cost us. Let's do some surveying. Let's get the MWRD out there and look, because, anything you build now, MWRD's got to get in there, water
What is the
retention.
MWRD?
Metropolitan Water
Water
Reclamation
Okay,
District.
all right.
So every project you see now has retention ponds. So the first thing that you have to do when you're doing a larger project, you got to say, okay, I've got 6 acres of land here, and I might need 6 acres, but however, the district's going to come in and say, well, you got to donate an acre for water retention. You got to do that. So they have to go to the MWRD and say, all right, what do we need for water retention? And they'll say, okay, we'll look at the property. They'll say, you need this much for water retention. So once they get that to the side, is there still enough for them to develop the project that they need? So that's the process that you're in. And I think if they answer all those, which from what I hear from the mayor is all looking positive right now, the deal may go forward.
And that's such a big space over there, and it would be a big deal if something moved in that improved the neighborhood and brought something new into Evergreen Park, whatever it is that you're talking
It's
about.
not
It's a
Because
big building to fill too.
The building's
the
already going.
building's
The
going.
building's
I
going.
got that
Totally
from what he was
gone.
saying right away.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
property. That building's
Well,
going.
I'll give you some hints. It's
And,
not,
and also,
it's-
we're concerned about the neighbors.
Is there a
across the
Ferris
street and
wheel
stuff, so.
involved?
no comment.
Okay.
No, there's not a Ferris wheel. Yeah, Norm's gonna be the juggler at the new amusement park. That will be the Facebook rumor now. Hey, did you hear they're building an amusement park
Building
over there?
a permanent amusement park where the Fifth Third is.
What
Right.
was that place at the old Venture in 95?
Oh, Kittyland.
Kittyland.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna put
great.
Kittyland in there, Chris.
Kittyland's coming here. You guys are moving
No, we're not
Santa's.
putting Kittyland
You guys
in there.
bought Santa's Village, and it's moving into the Fifth Third property, right?
It could be.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. We continue to be joined by 2 village trustees down here, Norm Anderson, Mark Marzullo, 2 of your trustees here in Evergreen Park at the 9-foot homemade oak bar this week on the EP podcast, and Mark Marzullo hinting now that there might be something big. We don't know for sure. He's not telling us what it is. Moving onto the property where the old Fifth Third Bank used to be. But he isn't telling us anything specifically.
But it absolutely, I'll tell you, it won't be in a restaurant. It won't be a grocery store. I can tell you that.
Oh man, now I'm really interested.
And
You'll be excited.
And I always love this when the property, the old Walgreens property at 95th and Central Park,
Okay.
when they left that, the village purchased that property because we wanted to control it. And I read Facebook every night, and I saw
Why would you do that to yourself?
Everything in the
Why
world.
would you read Facebook?
My wife
every
says the
night?
same thing. But
Why would you do
I
that to yourself?
I'm a nosy guy.
Sometimes I want to see people fight with each other, and then I turn on Facebook or Twitter. But otherwise, why would you do that to
I
yourself?
just got to see what they're saying.
Mark's at his ear right to the village. Mark knows.
Yeah. Do you have to take,
He knows everything.
antacids with Ben as well?
I
to get
call
through
him
the
up. I
night?
go, Mark, what's going on? He goes, I got it, Norm. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Now, wait. Before he goes any further, do you have one of these accounts on Facebook that's not your name, so you can stir up the pot? I mean, because there's so many people that are
No comment. No, I don't ever type in anything. I don't post pictures of my grandkids. I just kind of want to see what's going. And so, you do hear, why is there a helicopter at 3 a.m? Well, why are you up at 3 a.m?
Because they heard a helicopter.
Well, they had the fact that helicopters, and I've always tried to explain this to people. I worked in 911 dispatch for Cook County 911, and I was a supervisor for the last 4 years, and I was very involved at that level of everything that was going on in the county. So if like a police department was asking for help, all the police helicopters run through Cook County. It's actually a shared helicopter of Cook County and Chicago police, the sheriff's police and Cook County police. So when Evergreen needs a helicopter, they actually request it from Cook County. And then the sheriff actually has to sign off on it. There's actually a phone call that happens because I used to have to make the phone call.
Right.
Sheriff Dart, yeah, they need a helicopter. Stop waking me up and just send the helicopter. All right, cool. And then the helicopter goes. So trust me, but then the helicopter goes up, and sometimes to get an angle, they are 2 miles away from what they're actually looking at. They might be looking at something in Chicago and hovering over Evergreen Park because they have infrared and they have all these like cool things to catch guys that are hiding. They have all these but it depends on where they are altitude wise, where they set up. Like I've had long conversations with the guys that actually fly those helicopters and the capabilities of it. I've actually seen it. So like a helicopter over your house may not even mean anything's happening in your neighborhood, but I don't think people get that. But you're right. That's the first thing everybody yells about on Facebook.
They're always talking about helicopters and different things, but I read on that Facebook about that property, and I knew what was going to be there, but we weren't at liberty to say because the deal wasn't done. I know for a fact it's a McDonald's. I know for a fact. I know.
That's true. You're like, I know for a fact.
Every day, everybody knew for a fact, but you don't know for a fact.
No, you don't.
Okay? We don't even know for a fact because
the money is not in your hand.
Hannah, you just can't say it any better than I did. So it's going to be a nice project. It's going to be low impact on the neighborhood. It's going to be something that's not going to have night hours or weekend hours.
Good for the neighbors.
Good for the neighborhood.
Yep.
Maybe open on Saturdays.
And the neighborhood, too.
I'm intrigued now by this. No nighttime
You're going to have to wait,
hours.
Chris. You're going to have to wait.
I really am. Well, I'm going to wait till the microphones are off, and then I'm going to give you guys a couple of shots of whiskey, and I'm going to get some answers.
No.
Hey, Mark will be running out here now.
Listen, Mark walked, so.
All I know is that
All
I know is that in the someone in a campaign that ran against us, I can't remember their name, said we need Notre Dame campus in here, but it's not going to be a Notre Dame campus. So.
Standing out here at the Evergreen Park Farmers Market, and we are at the Baracus tent, and Elise is standing here with me. And this is what, raw organic honey?
It is, yeah.
What is the difference here? How do you flavor it? I'm looking at this, and you have mango honey, orange honey, blueberry honey, mint honey. How do you do that?
So all of our infusions are done with fresh fruit, fresh herbs, fresh root. We just use the sun, so we submerge the honey with whatever we're infusing, the fruit or herb, and we use the sun to heat it up, and after a couple weeks it starts releasing its oils and flavors, and there you go. You strain it and then jar it.
When it's organic honey, what makes it organic? Just so people know, what makes your honey unique?
So our honey comes straight from the hive into the jar, so that we don't add anything else into it. We're all over Chicagoland area. It's a nonprofit organization, so anywhere where there's like an open lot, we'll set up a community garden, and in exchange, we'll put a hive on it. So we have some on the lakefront, South Shore, all over the place.
We're standing with Lisa now at the Floralore tent. It says, tell your story with flowers. Lisa, how do you tell a story with flowers?
I feel like I think in color stories. So, my color story is usually kind of like in the pinks and purple families, but people can tell stories in all sorts of different ways. There's also a lot of people who tend to think about like the meanings of flowers, but yeah, I tend to think more like in terms of texture and color and the way that all of those things kind of come together and express feeling.
The music and also the name, which I think you mentioned it to me before we turned on the microphone. It's like folklore. Is this basically an enchanted flower tent?
I think you could say that, yeah. I tend to bring some kind of you can see the more rustic, like hanging planters and things like that.
This is like the flower tent that you would go to before you went off to slay the dragon in Dungeons and Dragons. Is that what this is?
Perfect.
Lourdes is standing here with me from El Coyote. You guys are in Elsip, but you come out here to the farmers market each and every week. You've been coming out here for years, right?
Yes, definitely. And we have a great crowd always coming out, loyal customers. So, no, rain or shine, we're here.
You know what's amazing is that you have gotten a reputation already as like one of the must-see things at the farmers market. I have so many people tell me this is where you go get tamales. How is that your most famous item here? Is that the thing that gets requested the most?
Yeah, that's what I started with, and then that's what they come looking for me for. Yeah.
Right, but now you got breakfast tacos. Yeah. You got quesadillas out here. You got churros out here. I mean, you're
out and have breakfast.
I could have breakfast and lunch.
Yeah,
as I look at your menu. I could spend all day in the farmers market. Like if I come in the morning, there's breakfast. If I come later in the day, there's lunch.
Yeah.
What is your most popular item? Is it a specific tamale? Like what is asked for?
Actually, it's the chicken and the pepper and cheese.
Is that your favorite?
Then my favorite are actually the pork.
The pork ones?
The pork ones.
See, I'm waiting for you to tell me what you like because I'm going to order some.
I like the pork one, so that's my favorite. But if you ask my daughter, she's like the chicken all the way. So.
So each and every week out here at the farmers market?
Every week.
Look at all those people in this great suburb driving down 95th and Kedzie. What a great place. It's called Evergreen Park, but we know it better as the EP. We're known for more than just the Unabomber. Remember Ted Kaczynski? You guys might even remember that big old rooster on 95th Street. It's all part of EP's history. So listen up to the EP podcast. You might be asking why. Because we talk about all things and we celebrate all the great things in the 60805. It's the EP podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP podcast. Evergreen Park.
All right, listen, I want to have a little friendly competition between Mark Marzullo and Norm Anderson here on the podcast. And this is how it's going to work. We're going to play a little Evergreen Park Trivia game. Every single question will be based on information I can actually get off the Village website, okay, about how well you know Evergreen Park. Now, I'm going to ask the questions. Hannah, you're going to judge.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And the idea is they buzz in by saying their first name. So when Norm buzzes in, he says Norm.
Can I go, eh?
You know what? How about this? He can say Norm, and you can just go, like that's fine. I don't care. Mark will go, and Norm will say Norm.
Gotta give Norm a sound, too.
No, Norm, what sound do you make really well?
I don't know. Pass. Hey, it better be late 70s, early 80s. He's, down.
This is information directly off the website. I can't wait to do this, okay? So I'm going to ask the questions.
Chris. I'm getting old.
You buzz in. Hannah will then judge who buzzed in first, and we'll see if you get the question right. It's going
to be embarrassing. We don't know the answer.
If you miss, the other person can steal, and Hannah keep an idea as to who ends up with the most of them right. Okay. All right. And we'll just see how this goes. This could be an absolute disaster. Let's hit some music. The first person here that can name all of the active Village Board of Trustee members. Mark got it. Mark got it. Norm Anderson rose his hand on the radio. That does not count.
I was like on Family Feud. I was going to hit the buzzer.
I was just trying to give you an easy one to get you going, okay? Go ahead, Mark.
Chris, who are Carol Kyle, Norm Anderson, Mark Phelan, Mark Marzullo, Kelly Burke, and Jim McQuillan at the present time? Present
Okay,
trustees.
I was going to get him on that one, but that's okay. We're recording the night. We're recording before Kelly Burke takes office, so
Yeah.
we're going to give him
That's
that one.
correct.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
is there an open seat now once that Kelly moves in? Is
There'll
that how
be
that
an
works?
open seat, yes.
Is there a special election?
What happens is that the mayor, we will probably take a step back after she gets inaugurated, and she'll be announcing that people are interested in seeking the position.
Okay.
And we'll have some criteria for that position, and we'll probably be asking someone to submit some resumes somewhere along the line to a group of elected officials.
Oh, so it'll be appointed, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
it's totally appointed.
So it'll be appointed, but her spot is up in 2 years. That spot would be up in 2 years, right?
You have to run for the first possible election if you're appointed to anything on the board.
So that's how it works.
2 years.
Yes.
So the village trustee position that's left vacant will be appointed, and then in 2 years when you're running, and I believe it's James McQuillan will be running,
Right.
and then this spot would also be the third one.
That's
That'd be
correct.
right.
All right, cool. Get your resume ready, Hannah. Okay, I'm gonna get mine ready too. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can make this a little bit more complicated.
All right.
All right, here we go. The first person that can tell me, and this is right off the website, the chairman of the Human Rights Commission.
Their faces. Do you even know
They
there's a
made
human
fun of
rights
the first one
commission?
for being too easy.
Laura Shello.
No, that is incorrect.
You did not
and he
buzz
didn't
in.
buzz in, but it's also incorrect.
Who is Laura Shello?
No, it's not. No, it's not. This is
Dennis
great.
Duffy.
No, it's
Ray
John
Gardner. No, that was
Daly. John Daly is listed as the chairman of the Human Rights Commission on the Evergreen Park Village website. Wow.
I knew that. I just
Wow.
wanted to have
This
Norm
will all
fill
be
it out.
saved for your election in
We'll be
2 years.
testing.
Mark.
Oh, thanks, Chris. We really appreciate that one.
Don't even
I
know
got
who's on
4
the Human
years,
Rights
he got
Commission.
two.
Poor
I
John
don't know
Daly.
nothing.
He's going to be listening to
Yeah,
this.
poor John Daly. He's probably like,
Can
oh,
we ask
my
about
God.
sports from high school?
Yeah.
Name me either the chairman or one of the members, there are two of which, that are on the Fire and Police Commission.
Skinny McCarthy, Tom McCarthy.
No, I said a chairman or two members on the Fire and Police Commission, and he is correct.
You're right.
Tom McCarthy.
Not the trust. The trustees have a.
Tom McCarthy is
You're
a
right.
member that's on there.
Todd
along
T.
with-
Lander.
And Todd T. Lander is the chairman.
I do not know the gentleman.
And Robert Lopez is the
Robert-
other.
Robert-
He was only on the Fire and Police Commission for 20 years.
And so was he, though. Hey, so was but it was a long time ago.
Everybody I know is dead that was on there. You know, I'm getting old.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay.
All right, won that one, Hannah.
Yes, you did. You won that one, so you're tied
And don't ask
now.
him about the zoning board either, because he knows all about that. Too.
Don't ask about. Look at this, man. I gotta find
know the Human Rights
zoning
Commission.
board.
All right, here we go. Give me the chairman or one of the three members on the Environmental Recycling Commission for the Village of Evergreen Park. These would be your people that want to recycle a lot.
Mary Ellen Brendich. Mary Ellen
pounded
Brendich.
on the bar.
Stole me.
Mary Ellen Brendich.
Mary Ellen Brendich is a member. That is correct. Can anybody name any of the other three people? You want me to just rattle it off? Anybody got one that they were ready to go with? One of the names was already mentioned, but it was an incorrect
He
answer.
stole mine.
All right, your chairman is Laura Shallow, and then Sue Pelka
A technicality.
and Maribeth
Human
Churek.
rights.
Hey, give a half a point. Half a
Give me
point in there,
half a
Chris.
point.
Half a point on that
Hannah,
one.
you're the judge. You
No
decide you want
halves.
to
It's
give
all in or
No,
nothing.
Hannah, all in or out. Okay.
Nothing. So 2 to
Can
1.
we
2 to
switch
You're the
1.
this?
judge. You're the
I'm
judge,
the
Hannah.
judge.
Can
I'm
we
in
switch
charge.
this to Three Stooges trivia? Because
Yeah, he'll beat me on that, but I can hold my candle with him on that one.
All right, this one I already knew. Actually, this one is not on the website, but I know this one. Give me the name of the gentleman that is in charge of keeping track of the history of Evergreen Park.
Oh,
Mark got that one.
Mark.
George
Peso.
George Peso, that is correct.
We're tied.
He could be the answer for a lot of questions, right?
Yes.
I mean, like
Chairman of the zoning board.
Yeah, I mean,
Chairman of zoning.
yeah, exactly. He's on all kinds of different things here. I was flipping along. George Peso, one of those names in Evergreen Park that if you don't know, this guy is super involved in everything that happens
George
there.
does a lot.
Right, exactly. So that's awesome. All right, let me find one more here. Where are we sitting at, Hannah? What's the score?
Tied 2-2.
We're tied 2-2.
Yeah,
so
no half points.
On this one, we're going to
No
have to.
halfsies.
Okay, here we go. This is.
I don't like losing.
Hey, how come Mark just walked out the door?
All right, I'm looking at the village flow chart. You can actually find this on the website. This is amazing. Who's in charge of who? This is great. Okay, so it's a good final question. We'll see whether or not one of them
Okay,
can nail
do you
this
know
one.
your
Good.
organizational
Do you know your
chart?
organizational flow chart for the village? All right. So the citizens of Evergreen Park sit at the top of the flow chart for who runs Evergreen Park, which I think is very symbolic and wonderful and everything like that. I found it for the first time here while I was looking up this question. Then The mayor and the board of trustees and the village clerk split off from that. And the village clerk has just administration underneath the village clerk. The mayor and the board of trustees then sit over the top of all these different departments: recreation, the Office of Citizen Services, police, fire, building department, public works, and the finance department. Tell me which one of those departments the youth department reports to.
The youth department is recreation department.
There you go. Mark gets it.
Excuse me. What is the recreation department? Alex Trebek would be proud of me. Yeah.
I think all of us learned something about Evergreen Park with that, and I think you guys actually learned some stuff as well.
What we've learned is Norman and I should read the website more.
Imagine one day, out of nowhere, you need your car towed. Who are you going to call? You have no idea. Right, because none of us think about that until it actually happens. So I'm going to give you a name: Dreamers Towing and Recovery. Located in Evergreen Park, Illinois, they will tow your vehicle locally or at a long distance at a very affordable price. What happens when your car needs a jump start? Dreamers Towing and Recovery. What happens when you're locked out of your car? Dreamers Towing and Recovery. You got a junk car, you don't know how to get rid of it, and you just want to move along and get some cash? They buy your junk cars, covering the EP and the surrounding south side of Chicago. Dreamers is there when you need them with 24-hour service. Call them 773-410-4549. 773-410-4549. Turn a sudden nightmare into a dream with Dreamers Towing and Recovery. Norm Anderson, Mark Marzullo, I appreciate you guys coming down and hanging out with us, telling us a little bit about what's going on in the village of Evergreen Park and having a little bit of fun. And once again, Norm, congratulations as you start another term. And Mark, I don't know, man, you got to start preparing, I guess. 2 years from now, you could be out.
The election started yesterday.
Did you watch that last election? It was a little intense at times. I don't know what could happen in the next one.
I get nervous with these guys. You know?
Chris, as I said before,
get nervous.
I really appreciate Mark's hard work, and along with Kelly Burke and Jeff Leahy, of course, with the other trustees, Mark Phelan, Carol Kyle, Jimmy McCullen, Kelly Burke, who's going to be the mayor, Kathy Aparo. I really do. And, we're here for the village of Evergreen Park and the residents. And if you ever need anything, please call Mark Marzullo. He will handle it. It'll be taken care of. And my phone will be turned off. He's right here. You whatever you need. No, we're all available at 24/7 to help anybody in this village.
Well, Norm, I appreciate that. And I'll just end it with, if your family's hungry, call Norm, because he buys a boatload of food here and I can't compete with it. So remember, call Norm. He'll bring food to your house. He's loaded with food and tacos and all kinds of stuff here.
Norm will bring the food.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's going to be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nudist basement. And the nudist basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudist basement. Broadcast basement. The nudist basement. The broad basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found. And always at the eppodcast.com.